In this next video, we're going to go over the multiple choice problem type. As you can see, we've already filled out our header information, so let's go down to the topic of the question itself. You can see that the question type is multiple choice, or MC for short, and really you're looking to answer in your question and then 2 to more answers. You can see we start out with a standard 4 set of questions here in the template, but you can cut this down to 2 by just having A and B, or you can add more letters if you need more options. So this one is pretty simple. You would enter in a question, and the questions can be long or they can be short. They can be paragraphs long or multiple paragraphs. They can include images, or they can include hyperlinks, or possibly even a video, but you need to put all of that into the template. So if you have an image, you'll want to actually paste the image itself into here. It can be of a smaller type or lower resolution, but we would need that image at the exact resolution and size that you would want delivered to us in a separate zip file. The reason we would want it put into the template is so we can see exactly where that image would go. Similarly with hyperlinks, if you need a hyperlink, please put it exactly where you would want it to go in the question. Or if you have a video, you'd have to have a reference to that video in the question that we could easily find as an attachment to the ticket that you would put in. So after you've put in your question, you will then enter your actual answers that are down here. So answer number 1 could be something like this. You can see we do not need to retain those brackets. Those are just there to show you that this is what needs to be filled out. If you retain the brackets will actually be captured as part of the question, so we recommend removing them. So you would want to put all the answers here that you want presented to the user. If for some reason you do not want these answers randomized, since randomization is a standard part of our process, you would need to put at the top here in the header, no randomization. You will also want to put that into the ticket that eventually gets submitted for the conversion of this questions. So here you've got your different options, and then here you would want to just put the letter of the correct answer. It can be uppercase, it can be lowercase, but just so that it corresponds to the correct answer that's up here. So if I pick A, then the correct answer is because she is a female. There's not much else to this problem type. There is a metadata section, which is optional. Currently, our CNOW and CXP applications do not capture nor use metadata when they display questions to customers. But this section is for forward-thinking applications such as our MindTap 4 or possible other applications that we might be creating soon, where this metadata will be able to be captured and displayed to customers. If you choose to use the metadata section, we would ask that you fill out those pieces of metadata that you need. Anything you don't need, you can delete. If you choose to delete this entire section, that is fine, since it is optional. But if you do use bits and pieces, we would ask that you leave it there and only delete the actual items that you don't need. So if I'm not going to have difficulty, I could delete difficulty. There is another option when you're doing multiple choice, and that is to again have your question and your answers very similar to what we see up here. So we're going to actually just copy this, since we're going to use the same question for our second example. The difference here is that instead of just the answer, we would like there to be feedback that is provided to the user once they've either clicked the check my work functionality or once they've submitted the entire quiz and have come back and are looking for feedback. So this is text feedback that will appear to the user. And you can see that this will also show us what the correct or incorrect answer is. So you can see here in the analysis section, each option has either incorrect or correct. You would want to choose one of those and get rid of the one that is not the one you would want. So if A is correct, we want to leave it with correct. And then it says enter rejoinder here. This rejoinder here is text feedback that would appear to the user when they have come back into the problem and are looking at it after they've answered it. So it could be something like correct, and then a lot of this text, and it tells them where in the text that they can actually go and find more information about this. You do need a correct or incorrect for every single option. Usually the incorrect will have the same rejoinder feedback, since if it's incorrect, it's incorrect. However, you do have the opportunity to have each of these be something different, so they don't all have to have the same text after the correct or incorrect. That is completely up to you. It can be something like incorrect, this is just not feasible. Now again, that doesn't really go along with the bevy of feedback that we've given above, but as you can see, it just shows that you can have a different set of feedback for each answer if you so choose. We do need the correct and incorrect spelled correctly, and this is a good place to talk about making sure that the things are copy edited and proofed well, because if we don't know if the answer is correct or incorrect, that can throw off the conversion a little bit. You do still have that metadata section down here, even with this analysis section, and again, that is completely optional. So you have two different options with multiple choice. You have the simple one where it's just the question and the possible answers and just the answer, which will just give the user a correct or incorrect kind of feedback. Or if you have more involved feedback, you can have your question, your possible answers, and then this analysis section where you say correct or incorrect and then provide a lot more feedback to them.